The camera pans across the familiar ranch, quiet, peaceful, and unchanged. But then, in the middle of it all, a figure appears at the edge of the arena. It's not just any rider. It's Georgie Fleming Morris. She hasn't been seen for years. And now she's riding back into Heartland like she never left. But why now? And what is she hiding? Georgie wasn't just another girl at the Heartland ranch. She was family. From the moment she arrived as a young foster child, she made a place for herself in the hearts of Amy, Lou, Jack, and everyone else. Over time, her bond with the horses, especially Phoenix, showed the same natural talent Amy had. She became strong, smart, and determined. But she was also deeply hurt by her past. Georgie had always wanted to prove herself, to rise above her pain and her childhood trauma. And that meant chasing big dreams far beyond Hudson. She left Heartland to follow her Olympic riding goals. It was a hard goodbye. Amy felt like she was losing a younger sister. Lou had raised Georgie like her own daughter, so watching her leave was like watching her child walk away. Georgie promised she'd come back, but as the seasons passed, time stretched longer than anyone thought. During her time away, Georgie faced many ups and downs. She trained with professionals, entered tough competitions, and even struggled with pressure and doubt. Sometimes she succeeded, other times she failed. But one thing was clear: she was growing up, far from the warm comfort of Heartland. Meanwhile, life at the ranch moved on. Amy focused on raising Lindy after losing Ty. Lou got deeper into politics. Jack remained the rock for everyone. And Tim always had his own battles. But through all the changes, one thing stayed the same. Everyone missed Georgie. Fans began to wonder if she'd ever return. Her name was mentioned sometimes in calls or letters, but she never came home. Viewers speculated, was she hurt, angry, or just moving on? The silence became louder each season. Her empty room, her untouched photos, and Phoenix's quiet stable spoke volumes. Now, out of nowhere, the season 19 trailer shows her grown up, calm, but clearly carrying something heavy. Her return isn't just a visit. It feels like something more. She's not the same girl who left. And the ranch isn't the same home she once knew. As Georgie rides toward that familiar barn, the question rises, is she back to stay, or is this goodbye for real? The trailer doesn't shout her name. It doesn't announce her return with dramatic music or bold words. Instead, it slips her into the frame like a whisper, soft, sudden, and powerful. At first, viewers only see the back of a rider. The way she holds the reins, the way her hair moves in the wind, the shape of Phoenix's stride. Fans noticed immediately, that's Georgie, that's her horse. And in just a few seconds, the quiet becomes electric. She dismounts slowly. Her boots touch the same dirt she walked on years ago. But this Georgie is different. She's older. Her face is calmer, but her eyes carry weight, like she's seen too much or been too far. There's a tired strength in her posture. She doesn't smile. She doesn't cry. She just looks at Heartland as if measuring how much has changed, and how much HASN single quotes. Dami is in the background, working with a horse. She turns. For a split second, her eyes meet Georgie's. It's not loud or dramatic, but it hits harder than any words. That look says everything: surprise, confusion, maybe even pain. Lou appears in another part of the trailer, looking down at her phone. But when she lifts her head and sees Georgie, her whole face changes. It's a mix of shock and something deeper: guilt, regret, joy. The trailer doesn't give us her words. We don't hear Georgie speak, and maybe that's the point. Her silence says more than dialogue ever could. It leaves viewers with questions. Where has she been? Why now? What happened out there in the world that brought her back here? The fans quickly started to dig in. Some say Georgie looks like she's hiding something, like she's running from something, not just returning to something. Others point out the absence of certain people in the scenes around her. Why isn't Peter with Lou? Why isn't Georgie seen with Katie? Is there a rift? A secret? In another shot, we see Georgie standing beside Phoenix, stroking his neck. The bond is still there, it never left. But there's hesitation in her movements, as if even the horse can feel her inner storm. Phoenix, loyal and quiet, nuzzles her hand like he's saying, "It's okay, you're home." Still, the question remains, is she? Because in one final flash, we see Georgie walking away from the ranch house in the dark, holding a bag. The door closes behind her. Is it a dream? A flashback? Or a sign that she won't stay? This trailer doesn't just tease her return. It dares the audience to look closer, to feel more. Georgie is not a side story anymore. She's the heartbeat of something big. Her return isn't about nostalgia, it's about change. Something is coming to Heartland. And it begins with her, when Georgie steps back onto the Heartland ranch. She doesn't just bring her bags, she brings an emotional storm. Her return shakes something deep in every character, especially Amy. For years, Amy carried the weight of heartbreak after losing Ty, and raising Lindy on her own became her focus. Georgie's return reopens memories not just of happier times, but of promises made and broken. Amy sees her not as a visitor, but as a piece of the family she once leaned on. And now that piece is walking back into her life. With silence in her eyes and mystery in her heart, Lou is another story. To the world, Lou is the confident mayor, the responsible one. But to Georgie, she was more than that. She was a mother. When Georgie left, Lou smiled for everyone else but cried behind closed doors. She supported her decision, yes, but secretly hoped she'd come back sooner. And now that it's finally happening, Lou doesn't know how to react. Her scene's in. The trailers show her struggling to reach out. There's hesitation in her voice, tension in her shoulders. She wants to ask questions. She wants answers. But she's afraid of pushing Georgie away again. Jack, as always, watches from the sidelines, but his heart speaks louder than words. When Georgie first came to Heartland, Jack was the one who gave her stability, kindness, and tough love. No. Seeing her walk back through that gate, older and wiser, makes him realize how fast time has passed. He doesn't need to ask where she's been. He just needs to know one thing. Is she okay? Tim's reaction is harder to read. In the trailer, he keeps his distance. His eyes narrow when Georgie appears. Maybe it's concern, or maybe it's something more. Georgie was like another daughter to him, and seeing her again might stir guilt. Did he do enough for her? Did he let her down when she needed him? Tim has a way of acting before thinking, and this situation might push him into old habits confrontation. Stubbornness and regret. Even Lindy, though young, feels the shift. She's seen pictures of Georgie. She's heard stories. And now, here this mysterious big sister is real, breathing, and distant. For Lindy, it's like meeting a legend. For Georgie, it's like staring into a mirror of what she used to be, hopeful, free and unbroken. The ranch itself feels different too. The horses are older, some have passed on. The trees have grown. The silence feels heavier. Georgie notices these things, noticing what she missed, and wondering if she still fits. Everyone at Heartland reacts differently, but they all feel it. Georgie's return is more than just a family moment. It's a ripple in still water. And whatever peace they had found is about to be stirred again. This is not a reunion filled with hugs and smiles. This is a reckoning with the past, with lost time, and with the truth that sometimes home changes. And sometimes so do the people. Coming back to it, in the Heartland Season 19 trailer, Georgie says almost nothing. But sometimes silence screams louder than words. Her return isn't filled with laughter or hugs, it's filled with unspoken pain. Her eyes avoid contact too often, her smiles are short-lived. And the way she keeps her arms crossed in every shot? That's not just the cold, that's defense. She's guarding something. And Heartland fans are already asking, what happened out there that changed her so deeply? When she left, she was full of firebold, determined, ready to conquer the world on horseback. But the girl who comes back is holding back. She walks slowly. She speaks carefully. She listens more than she talks. This isn't just growth, it feels like fear. Like she's afraid that if she says too much, it will all fall apart. There's a shot in the trailer where Amy reaches out softly, without pressure. Georgie looks down and away, biting her lip. That's not the Georgie we knew. This version of her has seen things, perhaps things she's not ready to share. Fans wonder, did something go wrong with her Olympic dreams? Did she get injured? Was there a betrayal? A heartbreak? Or maybe she simply failed? And doesn't know how to face the people who once believed in her. One scene is especially telling. Georgie stands alone in the barn late at night. Phoenix rests beside her, eyes half closed. Georgie talks, but we don't hear the words, only see her lips moving. It looks like a confession, like she's telling her truth to the one soul she trusts more than any human, her horse. Maybe she's saying sorry, maybe she's saying goodbye, or maybe she's asking Phoenix if he still remembers her. Another moment catches attention. Lou looking through old photographs, her hand pausing on one of Georgie's teenage years. She looks up and Georgie is standing there, frozen in the doorway. No words, just a flicker of emotion between them. It feels like a wall that hasn't been broken yet, something left unsaid for too long. Jack tries to keep things normal. He invites her for a ride, tells her about the new foal, offers her her old saddle, but Georgie flinches just for a second before she nods. That flinch tells a story. Maybe she's hiding a physical wound. Or maybe the real scars are inside. The trailer also shows her packing a bag. Not dramatically. Not angrily, quietly, slowly, as if she's preparing to leave again, without telling anyone. That's the most heartbreaking part. Because if Georgie feels like she doesn't belong anymore, it means something broke deep. Inside her, and no one even noticed, there's one final clue. In a quick flash, we see a photo in her hand. It's old. Torn on the edge. It shows her and the man no one recognizes, definitely not from Hudson. She stares at it for a moment before slipping it into her coat pocket. Who is he? A friend? A mistake? A lost love? Or someone who hurt her? Georgie is back, yes. But she's not here for celebration. She's carrying something, and whether it's guilt, grief, or unfinished business, it's clear. She didn't come home just to visit. She came back to bury something. Or to face it. Asterisk, there's a moment in the trailer where Georgie stands at the edge of the paddock, her hands gripping the fence, her eyes fixed on the horizon. She's not just watching the land. She's searching for something, maybe herself. And that's what makes her return so powerful. She isn't just walking back into Heartland as the same girl who left. She's walking back as a woman with a choice to make. Is she here to rebuild her life? Or to quietly end a chapter forever? Fans have already started whispering theories. Some say Georgie came back after a serious injury, one that ended her riding career. That would explain the way she avoids mounting a horse, the way she winces when Amy offers her Phoenix's saddle. Others believe she's running from heartbreak, maybe even a relationship that left her hurt, ashamed, or worse, isolated. The trailer doesn't give direct answers, but every shot adds a piece to the puzzle. In one key scene, Georgie is sitting at the dinner table with Lou, Amy, and Jack. It should feel warm and comforting. But it doesn't. Her fork barely moves. She listens but doesn't join the conversation. Her eyes dart from person to person, trying to feel like part of the family again, but there's a wall between them. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's fear of disappointing them. Or maybe she knows she's not staying long. Still, there are flashes of hope. Amy takes her to the round pen and asks her to watch as she trains a nervous horse. Georgie nods, and for a moment the old fire sparks in her eyes. Her body leans forward. Her fingers twitch, like they remember what it felt like to guide a wild horse with nothing but trust and patience. Then she steps back, retreats into herself again. She's torn between returning to what she once loved and protecting the scars. She hides. Later in the trailer, we see Georgie walking into her old bedroom. Everything's dusty, untouched. Her trophies, ribbons, and photos are still there. But the way she looks at them, it's not pride, it's grief. Grief for the girl who once had dreams that felt unbreakable. She touches a photo of herself and Phoenix at their first big win, and quietly turns it face down, but not everything. Feels like the end. Katie, now older, catches Georgie in the barn one morning. She doesn't ask where Georgie has been. She just says, "I missed you." That moment, simple and honest, cracks the shield Georgie wears. She doesn't answer with words. She just hugs Katie tight. It's the first time in the trailer we see her truly feel something without hiding it. And then there's Phoenix. In a nighttime scene, Georgie saddles him, alone, no one watching, no pressure. She doesn't ride. She just stands with him, breathing together. It's not about performance. It's about trust, healing, maybe even starting again. Is she staying for good? Is she ready to reconnect with the family that never stopped loving her? Or is she here to quietly say the goodbyes she never had the courage to before? The trailer leaves us with one final clue, a letter. Handwritten, folded, left on Amy's nightstand. We don't see what it says, but we see Amy's face as she reads it. Her eyes fill with tears, but she doesn't stop reading, whatever Georgie wrote. It's important, it's honest, and it just might be the start of something new. Or the end of something that was never truly finished. Asterisk, at first glance, Georgie's return feels quiet, almost too quiet. But for sharp-eyed fans, the trailer is packed with small moments that speak volumes. These are not accidents. Every pause, every background shot, every flicker of emotion is a clue. And if you watch closely, the truth about Georgie's return starts to reveal itself not in what she says, but in what the trailer hides. One of the most powerful moments comes and goes in just 2 seconds. In a corner of the ranch house behind Jack's shoulder sits a dusty box labeled Georgie. Finals. That box holds memories, schoolwork, letters, maybe even old writing gear. Why is it still there? Why didn't anyone throw it out? The answer is simple. They never stopped waiting. Heartland didn't just move on. It froze part of itself, just in case Georgie came back. Then there's a blink and you'll miss its shot of Lou checking her messages. She pauses, stares at her screen, then closes her phone without a word. Rewatch that frame and you'll notice the contact name. Coach McGregor. Fans know that name. That's Georgie's old trainer from Europe. Why is he calling now? Did something go wrong overseas? Or did he send her back here for a reason? Another moment that raised eyebrows, Tim watching Georgie from a distance but never approaching. He seems angry. Not loud, but cold. And behind him on the barn wall is a new poster, Hudson Rodeo Charity Event, open category withdrawn. That withdrawal was Georgie's. It was her category. So why didn't she compete? Did she freeze under pressure? Did something scare her off? One of the most emotional hidden clues comes from Phoenix. In the trailer, Georgie approaches him slowly. He snorts, backs up slightly, then pauses and lowers his head. The tension is thick, like even the horse is confused, unsure if the girl he once trusted is truly the same. But then, she whispers something to him. We don't hear it, but Phoenix relaxes. That whisper means everything. It's a signal, a promise, maybe even an apology. But perhaps the biggest clue comes near the trailer's end. Georgie is alone in the loft where Ty once lived. The room is quiet, full of old energy. She sits at his desk, touching a photo of Ty, Amy, and Lindy. That's when fans notice the edge of a plane ticket sticking out from her journal. The destination, New York, and the date, 1 week from now. She hasn't unpacked because she doesn't plan to stay. Unless something or someone changes her mind, then there's the music. Not just the lyrics, but the melody itself. It's a soft piano version of a theme we last heard in Season 12, during a scene where Georgie talked about fear of not being good enough, of letting everyone down. Bringing that music back now can't be coincidence. It tells us this isn't just about coming home. It's about facing demons she never beat, and in the very last shot there's a letter burning in the fireplace. Just a corner is visible, but fans pause the trailer, frame by frame. You can just make out the words "to whom I've hurt." That letter was never meant to be found. It was meant to disappear along with Georgie's pain, but this is Heartland. Pain doesn't disappear. It gets faced, together. And Georgie's silent return. It's the beginning of that truth rising to the surface. Asterisk, this isn't just about Georgie. Her return marks something bigger, something that reaches into every part of Heartland. For years, the story has circled around healing, rebuilding, and moving forward. But now, with Georgie quietly stepping back into the picture, we're reminded of something deeper. Some wounds never close until the people who cause them, or carry them, come home. Georgie doesn't speak much in the trailer, but her presence is loud. It changes the tone of every room, every conversation, every decision. Suddenly, old emotions are bubbling back up. Unfinished conversations, words left unsaid. Forgiveness that was never asked for and never given. Her return brings a wave of reflection not just for herself, but for everyone. Amy is now at a point in her life where she has healed just enough to open her heart again. But when Georgie walks in, she's forced to confront memories from a time when everything felt broken. Their relationship was once like sisters. Will it return to that? Or has too much happened? Lou, so busy with being mayor and mother, is shaken back into her real role, the heart of the family. With Georgie back, she's reminded of what it means to nurture, not just lead. But is she ready to face her own mistakes? Is she strong enough to finally admit she may have let Georgie go without the support she needed most? And Jack, always the backbone, will have to choose between staying silent or becoming the voice Georgie might finally listen to. If there's one person who can get through to her, it's Jack, but only if he speaks from the heart. Beyond the family, Georgie's return affects the entire ranch. Katie looks up to her. Lindy is fascinated by her. Even the horses sense the change in energy. The ranch breathes again, but not with comfort, with anticipation. Something is coming. And it's not just Georgie's story that's about to shift. The trailer hints that Georgie might be the beginning of a larger narrative twist, a catalyst that brings the Fleming-Bartlett family back together, or pushes them further apart. Rumors suggest other old faces may return too, old flames, old rivals. Maybe even new challenges from the world Georgie left behind. Her reappearance might lead to healing, or disaster. Will she find the courage to share the truth about where she's been and what broke her spirit? Will she stay and fight for the family that always waited? Or will she vanish again, leaving only a trail of more unanswered questions? One thing's certain: Heartland will never be the same. Season 19 isn't just a continuation, it's a reckoning. And Georgie's silent, emotional return might just be the spark that lights a fire across the entire ranch. Because sometimes coming home isn't the end of the journey. It's where the real story finally begins. Asterisk.